Shalom, family. Shalom. Another day, Friday, heading into Sabbath. And we're looking at today's reading is the book of Enoch, chapter 1, 1 through 9, and the book of Jasher, chapter 1, 1 through 36. Hope you're enjoying your day. And for some that are on the East Coast, you're already in the midst of the Sabbath. So happy Sabbath to you. So here we go. Book of Enoch, section 1, chapter 1. The words of the blessing of Enoch, wherewith he blessed the elect and righteous, who will be living in the day of tribulation, when all the wicked and rasha, that's morally wrong, are to be removed. And he took up his parable and said, Enoch, a righteous man, whose eyes were opened by Eloah, saw the vision of the Holy El Elyon in the heavens, which the angel showed me, and from them I heard everything, and from them I understood as I saw, but not for this generation, but for a remote one which is for to come. Concerning the elect I said, and took up my parable concerning them. The Holy El Elyon will come forth from his dwelling, and the eternal Eloah will tread upon the earth, even on Mount Sinai, and appear from his camp, and appear in the strength of his might from the heaven of heavens. And all shall be smitten with fear, and the watchers shall quake. And great fear and trembling shall seize them unto the end of the earth. That's the ends, plural, of the earth. And the high mountains shall be shaken, and the high hills shall be made low, and shall melt like wax before the flame. And the earth shall be wholly rent in sunder, and all that is upon the earth shall perish, and there shall be magistratement upon all men. And I will protect the elect, and mercy shall be upon them, and they shall all belong to Eloah, and they shall be prospered, and they shall all be blessed, and he will help them all. And light shall appear unto them, and he will make peace with them. And he will make peace with them. And behold, he will come with 10,000s of his holy ones to execute magistratement upon all, and to destroy all the Belial, that's the wicked, and to convict all flesh of all the works of their Belial, which they have evilly committed, and all the hard things which Belial, sinners, have spoken against him. So I've read to you the first chapter in the book of Enoch. So stay tuned. We got more. Okay, we're in the book of Jasher, which is in Hebrew, Hayyasar. Hayyasar, that's Hayyasar. So this book of Hayyasar, chapter 1, and it reads, And Elohim said, Let us make man in our image, after our likeness. And Elohim created man in his own image. And Elohim formed man from the ground. And he blew into his nostrils the breath of life. And man became a living soul endowed with speech. And the Yahweh said, It is not good for man to be alone. I will make unto him a helpmeet. And the Yahweh caused a deep sleep to fall upon Adam, and he slept, and he took away one of his ribs, and he built flesh upon it, and formed it, and brought it to Adam. And Adam awoke from his sleep, and behold, a woman was standing before him. And he said, This is bone of my bones, and it shall be called woman, for this has been taken from man. And Adam called her name Eve, for she was the mother of all living. And Elohim blessed them and called their names Adam and Eve in the day that he created them. And the Yahweh Elohim said, Be fruitful and multiply and fill the earth. And the Yahweh Elohim took Adam and his wife and placed them in the Garden of Eden to dress it and to keep it. And he commanded them and said unto them, For every tree in the garden you may eat, but from the tree of knowledge of good and evil you shall not eat. For in the day that you eat thereof, you shall surely die. And when Elohim had blessed and commanded them, he went from them, and Adam and his wife dwelt in the garden according to the command which the Yahweh had commanded them. And the serpent which Elohim had created with them in the earth came to them to entice them to transgress the command of Elohim which he had commanded them. And the serpent enticed and persuaded the woman to eat from the tree of knowledge. And the woman hearkened to the voice of the serpent, and she transgressed the word of Elohim, and took from the tree of knowledge of good and evil, and she ate. And she took from it and gave also to her husband, and he ate. And Adam and his wife transgressed the command of Elohim, which he commanded them, and Elohim knew it. And his anger was kindled against them, and he cursed them. And the Yahweh Elohim drove them that day from the Garden of Eden to till the ground from which they were taken. And they went and dwelt at the east of the Garden of Eden. And Adam knew his wife, Eve, and she bore 2 sons and 3 daughters. And she called the name of the firstborn Cain, saying, I have obtained a man from the Yahweh. And the name of the other she also called Abel. For she said, In vanity we came into the earth, and in vanity we shall be taken from it. And the boys grew, and their father gave them a possession of the land, in the land. And Cain was a tiller of the ground, and Abel was a keeper of sheep. And it was at the expiration of the few years that they brought an approximation offering to the Yahweh. And Cain brought from the fruit of the ground, and Abel brought from the firstlings of his flock, from the fat thereof. And Elohim turned and inclined to Abel and his offering, and a fire came down from the Yahweh from heaven and consumed it. And unto Cain and his offering the Yahweh did not turn, and he did not incline to it, for he had brought from the inferior fruit of the ground before the Yahweh, and Cain was zealous, or kana, against his brother Abel on the account of this, and he sought a pretext to slay him. And in some time after, Cain and Abel, his brother, went one day into the field to do their work. And they were both in the field, Cain tilling and plowing his ground, and Abel feeding his flock. And the flock passed that part which Cain had plowed in the ground, and it sorely grieved Cain on this account. And Cain approached his brother Abel in anger, and said unto him, What is there between me and thee, that thou comest to dwell and bring thy flock to feed in my land? And Abel answered his brother Cain, and said unto him, What is there between me and thee, that thou should eat the flesh of my flock, and clothe thyself with their wool? And now, therefore, put off the wool of my sheep, with which thou hast clothed thyself, and recompense me for their fruit and flesh, which thou hast eaten. And when thou shalt have done this, I will then go from thy land, as thou hast said. And Cain said to his brother Abel, Surely, if I slay thee this day, who will require thy blood from me? And Abel answered Cain, saying, Surely Elohim, who has made us in the earth, he will avenge my cause, and he will require my blood from thee, shouldest thou slay me. For the Yahweh is the magistrate and arbiter, and it is he who will requite man according to his evil, and the wicked man according to the wickedness that he may do upon the earth. And now, if thou shouldest slay me here, surely Elohim knoweth thy secret views, and will magistrate thee for the evil which thou didst declare to do unto me this day. And when Cain heard the words which Abel his brother had spoken, behold, the anger of Cain was kindled against his brother Abel. The anger of Cain was kindled against his brother Abel for declaring this thing. And Cain hastened and rose up and took the iron part of his plow instrument, for which he suddenly smote his brother, and he slew him. And Cain spilt the blood of his brother Abel upon the earth, and the blood of Abel streamed upon the earth before the flock. And after this Cain repented, having slain his brother, and he was sadly grieved, and he wept over him, and it vexed him exceedingly. And Cain arose up and dug a hole in the field wherein he put his brother's body, and he turned the dust over it. And the Yahweh knew what Cain had done to his brother. And the Yahweh appeared to Cain and said unto him, Where is Abel thy brother that was with thee? And Cain dissembled and said, I do not know. Am I my brother's keeper? And the Yahweh said unto him, What hast thou done? And the voice of thy brother's blood crieth unto me from the ground where thou hast slain him. For thou hast slain thy brother, and hast dissembled before me, and didst imagine in thine heart that I saw thee not, nor knew all thy actions? But thou didst this thing, and didst slay thy brother for naught, and because he spoke rightly to thee. And now, therefore, cursed be thou from the ground which opened its mouth to receive thy brother's blood, and from thy hand, and wherewith thou didst bury him. And it shall be, when thou shalt till it, it shall no more give thee its strength as in the beginning. For thorns and thistles shall the ground produce, and thou shalt be moving and wandering in the earth until the day of death. And at that time Cain went out from the presence of the Yahweh, from the place where he was, and he went moving and wandering in the land towards the east of Eden, and he and all belonging to him. And Cain knew his wife in those days, and she conceived and bare a son, and he called his name Enoch, saying, In that time the Yahweh began to give him rest and quiet the earth. And at that time Cain also began to build a city, and he built a city and called the name of the city Enoch, according to the name of his son. For in those days the Yahweh had given him rest upon the earth, and did not move about the wander as in the beginning. And Irad was born to Enoch, and Irad begat Mechiel, and Mechiel begat Methusiel. And there we are at the end of chapter 1. So, with this Sabbath coming in over here on the West Coast, I pray that you are having a blessed day, and I pray that all things are well with you and your household. Prayers going up daily on your behalf, and I pray that you are praying for us as well. Keep the faith, keep the commandments, stay obedient, stay faithful. In the Ahaya Yahweh Yahushua HaMashiach, blessings be unto you. Shalom. Omna.